what's up with this YouTube, man. It's not letting me keep the live stream. But let me see if I can ride out for a second. It's riding. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. All right, so let's talk about this stock right here. Rcon. It was a fucking great run. Look at the volume on this bad boy. Volume this morning, 9:30. Shot up 2 million. This is a 5-minute chart. And as you can see, this is the money setup. The reason why it's a money setup is because here, let me show you. Get this bitch set up. Get this bitch set up real quick. I'm gonna show y'all money setup. Oh, money setup. Let's show the money setup. This is the money setup. I didn't have position. I just been watching, checking this money setup, seeing how good this money setup is. And it's a tight range money setup. I'm gonna show you what a tight range money setup looks like. This is a tight range money setup. Tight range money setup. You get the spike, right? I don't have software to really keep up with the spikes. I just use, as right now, I'm just using stockmarketwatch.com just to see what the pre-market looks like. It's free. Like I said, you can go to stockmarketwatch.com and you can pull up what stocks are running in pre-market. It's free. So before I was spending money, so I'm not, I don't have the software anymore. Stocks to trade. So anyways, so tight range setup tight range setup is my go-to setup for now. I just been watching. So anyways, you get the spike up in pre-market, or this is not pre-market. Oh yeah, it is kind of. Is it pre-market? Yeah, it's pre-market, 925, whatever, right? So you get the spike up, right? This is a 5-minute chart, and has another green candle. Then it starts to go sideways, right? It doesn't break out after the spike, right? It consolidates after the spike. You got 1, 2. And this is a range, so the range is what? 264. We'll say right here, 264. So 40 cents. So let's say give or take 50 cents, right? Then it comes back down here. So what's the take? It's 254 to 285. So now we're down from 50 cents range to 30 cents range.
Trading connection lost.
Right? So we got a 30-cent range. Right, that's your range right there. So your risk, you're risking depending on your position in this area right here from 286 to 250. You're in a 30-cent range. So let's say I got in the middle, right? Let's say I got at 267, right? So I'm risking, 15 cents, right? My stop.
Trading connection reestablished.
My stop would be 255, right? Let's say I got at 267, 270. I'm risking 20 cents. And then the next candle, right? At this point, it's 9:45. This market open. So this bitch is running. You can see the volume, 2 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, right here in this green candle, 5-minute chart. So it came down to 257. I got to stop at 255, and it fucking runs. So let's say 270, let's say 270, right? From 270 all the way up to 505, 509. That's a good fucking run. That's a damn good run. It's $1 and some change. But I'm not trying to go for the home runs anymore. I just need 30, 50 cents. I'm good. I'm good with a dollar would be good too. But I'm gonna be out like 20, 30 cents, man. I ain't fucking around anymore. But yeah, this is a good setup. Then it did the same exact thing. It spiked up, right? This bitch got 3 million shares on the 5-minute chart. This bitch got 3 million shares on the 5-minute chart. Hold up, man. This bitch running. Running. Hold up. Let's see if I got it. And then it ran up again. Consolidated, right? You gotta wait for the tight range to get in. So it spikes up, it comes back down, doesn't go all the way back down. 5-minute chart, and then it consolidates. The range is 425 to 460. The bottom of the range is 420, right? So 420 to 460. So 40 cents a range. 40 cents is the range, right? And then from here, 46 to 445, 40 cents. It's just bouncing back 40 cents. 460 to 430, so 30 cents. 45 to 440, 40 cents. And then it breaks out. It breaks this shit right here. And then, if you would have bought the breakout, if you would have bought, down here somewhere in this range, this is the whole thing right here, tight range. Once you get this breakout, consolidation, you want to buy this shit when it starts to go sideways, and all you have to do is minimize the risk at the bottom of the range, which is 420. So the bottom of the range is 420. That's your risk. Set your stop and let that bitch ride. So 420. So let's say you got it say 430. So 430 all the way up to fucking 530. That's that's a dollar right there, right here, made right here. So there's 2 times to make money. On the breakout in the morning, right? Right here at 9:45, and then another time at 10:25. You could have made a dollar here and some change and a dollar right here. So this tight range breakout, they call it the triangle. I think they call it the bear triangle. No, the bull triangle. So you got the triangle right here. Triangle. Yep. Triangle. Triangle. Triangle, right? Bull, flag, triangle. And then it breaks out. Then you get another bull flag triangle right here. Right? Get another bull flag triangle. Then fucking breaks out. Not a big breakout, but still, a few cents a share. That's good enough. You buy this fucking range. You wait for it to pop, which it pops right here in this candle. You see the volume picks up to 2 million. You get your fucking 20, 30 cents, you're out. So 2 times to make fucking profits, man. That is money. Money. And that's my go-to pattern right there. I didn't make any money today. I was just watching. I was just sitting and watching. That's all I was doing. That's all I was doing today. Just sitting and watching. But even if you don't have any money in, I would have put money on it. I'm just watching. And another thing is I like fucking with the morning. The morning is money. Morning is money. That's where the money's at. Morning is at the money at the open. Yeah, the money is at the open, for sure. Cause shit, you got that bull. You had 2 bull flags, right? One around 9:30 and another one at 10:15, and you didn't have to be in it till 10:45, and you was out. I would have made money then. So I don't like fucking with anything else besides the morning, because everything else, like if you look at the lunchtime, it ain't got no volume. The volume's dried up. It's low. It's less than 1 million shares on the 5-minute chart. Shit. You don't even need to be looking at lunchtime. You need to go ahead and be doing what the fuck you want to do. Put on a movie, go get lunch. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the fucking YouTube. I don't know why it kept crashing this morning. It just kept crashing. I don't know why. I do not know why. What was that? From Bucks there. 3 hours ago. supposedly they want to be crypto play, and they had their failing business. See what Tim's talking about. Tim's got some shit. He's got a video. Let's see what he's talking about. See what Tim talking about. See what Tim talking about. He just made a video. See what this boy talking about. He just made a video.
That room, I couldn't alert it. It was too quick, but it was good that I was prepared and I made a little money. And I'm making a video lesson. This is IZEA. It's up 23%. I'm filming this at 8:10 a.m.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's YouTube.
This trade. I don't even know how long. I was in it for like a minute. You had to be quick, and I covered too quickly, but at the same time, like, I'm not even awake. This is just kind of a cool video on how to be prepared. You know, so that it's...
He's talking about IZEA. Like, it spiked up, but I don't like fucking with IZ. That bitch is garbage. But at least you could have shorted it.
$1 million account here.
Could have shorted it when it spiked up
brokers,
there.
and they're like, I can imagine they're going to be like, well, you know, who cares if you make $275? But what they don't understand is that this $1 million account was built off gains like $275 or $2,000. I only got a partial execution. Like I said, I'm only half awake. Like, this is kind of a funny trade. I haven't even written the blog post. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it either today or tomorrow. It's been kind of crazy. I'm finishing several DVDs and teaching students in person later this week. But the blog post
right
is talking about how I have two accounts.
Motherfucker trading sleep and still making money.
One, starting with $12,000 in my E-Trade account, which is actually, you know, I started with $12,400. They're my roots, and that account is already up to like $16,000, which is crazy, in just like 2 weeks. And then I'm gonna have $1 million account just for shits and giggles, I guess. More just like when there's a perfect trade, I want to take advantage of it. You know, because I'm starting with $12,000 in the other account, I'm under the PDT rule, so I can only do 3 day trades per week, which is fine. You know, it's more than enough. Like, as I've proven, I've already grown it from, you know, 12 to 16,000 in 2 weeks, and if I keep that up, I won't even be under the PDT rule in a few weeks. But at the same time, some students have a lot more money and they feel cheated. They're like, why do you always cater to people with just small accounts? So I'm like, fair point. You know, I have students with small accounts, big accounts. I want you guys all to learn. So
yeah, I'll make a video right now about
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
I don't trade in the $1 million account very much, or I don't intend to. But you know, this one, literally, I just logged in, and I was already logged into Interactive Brokers, and I wasn't logged into E-Trade. So that's the reason why I just did this trade. Easily could have done this at E-Trade, but it was just a question.
He ain't talking about shit.
You know, just whatever was open. And sometimes, you know, I'm going to take a...
Yeah, so let's talk about Bitcoin real quick. I'll show you what's up with that Bitcoin. This is just my little opinion on Bitcoin, but I'm going to show y'all what's going on with it. So check this out. Check this Bitcoin thing out. So Bitcoin, where we at? Where you at? Right here. Check this shit out. I seen this shit. I seen it a couple days ago. I was like, that's when I called my broker today in Chicago. And I said, hey man, I said, what's up with because if you're trading on futures, if you try to trade futures, you don't have to worry about this bullshit of the PDT rule. PDT rules. You got to trade. You can only get 3 trades a week. Fuck that. You fucking around. You fuck with futures. You don't need. You don't. They don't. You can trade as many. You can trade 1,000 trades in one day. You know. Now that being said, if you do 1,000 trades, that's about $1,000 in. That's $1,000 in fucking and commissions. You know, or whatever the fucking commissions fee are. I think the commissions are like $10. You know, depending on the broker. I think my broker's like $10. But hold up, let me go to cryptos today. No, this ain't what the fuck I want to see. Where is that motherfucking thing I was looking at? Fuck. Hold up. Where you at, man? I think this is it right here. Yeah, this is it. Nope, that's not it either. Fuck. All right, here it is, right here. So check this out. Look at this chart.
Satoshi Nakamoto is the creator of Bitcoin.
Shut the fuck up. All right, so look at this chart here. This. I was just thinking too. My partner was telling me about Bitcoin around 2013, and in 2013 it was around $64. You know, a share. You know, $64 a share. You fuck around and buy 100 shares. Oh man. All right, so 100 shares or 1,000 shares? Let's do the math. I think I would have had to buy 1,000 to make $1 million. Let's see. So 1,000. Yeah, times 13,000. Yeah, it's $1 million and some change. Yeah, I would have made 100. Yeah, I would have made. Yeah. Yeah, I would have made 13 million if I would have had $1,000. If I would have bought 1,000 shares back in 2013 when my partner was telling me about Bitcoin, I would have been set. So 2013, it was around $64, anywhere from $64 all the way. Where's 14 at? All right, so 13. In 2013, that whole year, the beginning of the year started at $64, and at the end of the year, 2013, it went all the way up to $817 from $64. That's fucking huge. Then it came all the way back down after a few years, all the way down to 200 at the lows, right? In 2015, $244 a share. 2015, and then it cranked back up, obviously in 2017. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, yeah, 2017 January 1st. January 1st is when it fucking broke the previous highs back in 2013 when it reached $900, and then in 2017 when it hit the high of $900 and change. It broke out and never came back. It just went fucking astronomical. So astronomical, anytime you see a chart that goes astronomical, whether it's a day chart or a fucking daily chart, doesn't fucking matter. Anytime you see a chart that just fucking goes from, a sideways action and it just fucking, you see this way overextended chart, there's gonna be a fucking pullback. So this thing on this chart shows 17,000. I talked to my broker. He said no. This fucking thing went up to all the way to almost 19. It went up to 19,000. So let's say 19,000, right, is the high, right, on Bitcoin on the daily chart. So 19,000. Now it's all the way down to fucking 12,000. It was all the way down to 11,000. It's 11,000 right now. 11,800. So it's down off its highs by 9,000, and the the support I see right here is at 4,000. You know what I mean? But anyways, I was trying to get in. I wanted to get on futures, and he told me just to get one share, just to get in on one share is gonna cost like $9 grand, not 50,000 just to do one share. So 50,000 just to get in Bitcoin on futures, just with my broker, cost 50 grand just to cover one share. So one share costs you 50 grand. The reason being is because of the volatility. The volatility is so so crazy, as you can see, like I said, like it shows right here, goes from 1,000 to 19,000. That's crazy volatility. That's crazy volatility. So that's why the brokers, and he said a lot. This is a broker. You can't, whatever broker tells you, take it with a grain of salt. They're full of shit. They don't have your best interest. You know what I mean? They're out for themselves, and they're clearing firm. They don't give a fuck about you. So whatever a broker tells you, don't listen to what the fuck they're saying. But as far as the only thing I'm listening to him is the price to get in. So when I called him this morning, he said it cost me 50,000 just to get one Bitcoin share of Bitcoin. So if I wanted to trade this stock right now at 11,787, which is the price right now, it would cost me 50 grand to short this motherfucker. $50,000 just short one share. So that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna put down $50,000 just to buy one fucking share. That's a lot of capital to be tied up on one share. You know what I'm saying? So that's a no-go for me. But yeah, that's my take on Bitcoin. That is my take on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, it's like with any other stock. When it's overextended, you see a stock that's overextended, you're gonna get a retracement. Period. No matter what kind of fucking stock it is, you get an overextended stock. Especially on a daily chart, and that motherfucker just shoots up. You're gonna get a retracement, and that's what it's doing. You got the pullback. The pullback was $9,000. That's a huge pullback, considering it went up 19,000. So 19,000 down to 11,000. That's a $9,000 drop. So now, the question is, how far Bitcoin going to drop down to? I'm gonna, ain't no telling what this bit. I see next resistance could be around 4,000. So it can bottom down to $4,000. We'll see. We will see. Back to Tim's site, see what the fuck he talking about.
Small trades with a big account. I didn't need to, I used roughly, $7,500 on this one. So I could have easily used my small account to make $275. It was just a rush because it all happened within a few seconds. Let me explain the trade, just to give you a little background of what's going on here. I just shorted IZEA at around $8 a share, covered at 770. Right now it's at 750. So again, I could have waited a little longer, but at the same time, when you're half awake and I didn't even really want to do the trade. I just did it just because I was like, I can't pass up free money. If you see like a $100 bill on the ground, it's tough. In this case, I saw $275 on the ground.
I saw $275 on the ground.
500 if I was more awake. Why is this spiking? Why did I short it? Why did I short a breakout? I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about that. This stock is a breakout, or when I shorted it, it was a breakout. Now it's looking like a possible double top. Going back to here in September, this company can spike a lot more than you think. Sorry, I just gotta wake up. This is gonna be a rough video lesson, just FYI. But it's cool that I've been trading so much and I've trained myself so well that when I see an opportunity, I just take it. Again, this became second nature. Normally, I wouldn't short this kind of a chart. Normally, I wouldn't short a breakout, but IZEA just spiked on this news that this is a briefing.com article that spiked it, but the actual press release says they're going to do altcoin cryptocurrency mining operations, which, this is the hottest sector, so blah, blah, blah. Anything that announces crypto, the stock spikes. And they talk about how, they're doing all this crypto stuff and it's good. Right now, crypto, as I'm filming this, let me just show you. crypto is getting crushed. Bitcoin's down 15%, Ether is down 14, Ripple's, they're all down 15, 20%. So this is going to be an ugly day, it looks like, for crypto. Also on Friday, and really even last Thursday, there were a few crypto announcements with companies, and the stocks did not spike. So the trend might be changing. This is a former runner. The volume so far, I mean, we're 15 minutes since they announced it, roughly, is 295,000, which is a lot of volume for this stock, but not a lot of, volume total. So this pre-market spike could completely disappear by the market open. So what I was thinking was that I actually tried to short this, when I opened my Interactive Brokers account, interface, it was actually around 8:30, and I was like, this is ridiculous, from 6 to 8:30 in like 4 minutes, and now it's coming back, so I'm actually glad that I played it safe. But this whole spike on the news was just kind of ridiculous, and you have to be careful shorting in this market. I'm not saying just short anything, but at the same time, this volume was not very big. I want to say it was under like 80,000. So when a stock like this, in a falling overall market for crypto, in a market the past 2 days that hasn't rewarded crypto news, spike like this, I thought that this thing had downside, and sure enough, it did. It actually dropped $1.30 a share in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Now it's back up, so I'm glad that I took profits and played it safe. There's something to be said about just going for singles. As I showed you before, I mean, this whole trade happened within a minute. So my thought process was that I'm shorting a little bit because this is a ridiculous spike. I think it can come down $1. It did. I took profits too soon, but now, as you see, the stock is higher. I used roughly $7,500 to make $275. I don't even know if E-Trade. Let's see if E-Trade has shares to short.
Market data connection
Yeah,
reestablished.
shares to short too. So you could short it at E-Trade or Interactive Brokers. I was just shorting the pop because the trend has changed a little bit the past few days, compared to earlier last week and 2 weeks ago, when any crypto stock, any kind of crypto announcement would spike a stock 50, 100, 200, 300, 500, even nearly 1,000%. I mean, that's how crazy it was. So now I'm going to be a little less aggressive on my crypto longs, and I might even do a crypto short. Also hidden down in this press release, just because this is such a bad company, it's actually pretty amazing. They announced IZEA Crypto in the headline, and deep down in the press release, they talk about their total bookings, which, IZEA is an influencer marketing network, like where you can book like an influencer for stuff. And trust me, I'm a social media influencer, and their rates are shit, and their business is shit. So I kind of already know that in the background. Just kind of cool. And then their main business, if you look at this press release, says announced net bookings were 5.2 million compared to 8 million in the same year ago. So they're not growing. They just lost like 30% of their revenue. So they better start in crypto, because they suck in every other regard. So it was actually pretty funny. It says like, well, we would have preferred.
No, I don't have
NPX.
I sold that shit.
Several of the larger renewal
Took a loss on
contracts
that. Like,
were delayed in
I don't remember, like $100 loss,
Use
maybe 200, 300. I don't know.
commitment from those customers.
Yeah, I got rid of that
This
shit,
is
man.
The timing issue, and I've already closed, blah, blah, blah. And so they're trying to make excuses, like why our revenues just dropped, 30%. They say like the remaining commitments expect to come later in this quarter. So you can always say that. So basically, they lost 30% of their business. Let me just cut through all the press release bullshit for a second. Oh, look, now there's a double top. It's actually a neat little double top potential. Let me just cut through what this press release is actually saying. Their business is down 30% year over year, which is horrendous. That's some of the worst business I trade a lot of bad stocks and a lot of bad companies. This is one of the worst. Um, so obviously they're not going to put that in the title. It just says announcing IZA crypto. They needed to talk about something positive to kind of brunt the sell-off from if they just announced that the revenues are down 30% year over year. Wait, let me get you the exact percent. Just because it's so bad, and this stock, it's actually kind of funny. Like I can imagine short sellers like pulling their hair out right now, thinking this stock just reported revenues are down 30% and the stock is up. I hate this market. 8.1 minus 5.2. 36%, my bad. So the business has dropped 36% year over year, which is, that's how you go bankrupt if you keep losing 36% or even 26% year over year. No one really wants to work with you. They hid this in the press release, and they announced crypto because, frankly, they have to announce something positive. Otherwise, people would see what a joke they are. One other thing that I should know is that even if I wasn't an influencer, so I have some kind of, knowledge about how bad this company is doing. When they spiked up big here, they couldn't even get a financing done. We've seen a lot of penny stock spikes like this, but usually they're all, excuse me, usually they're all in order to do a financing. You pump up your stock price, you raise money, that's how you stay in business, that's how you grow, that's how you enrich the executives. And this stock spiked from the 1s to the 7s, and they didn't even do a financing, because frankly, they couldn't. I'm guessing that they pitched their deck to institutional investors and hedge funds everywhere, as all small caps do, and no one bid. So even though this stock actually held its gains pretty well and now is like holding near its highs, their overall business is dropping 36% year over year. They're hiding it in the press release, which just makes it even worse. Like some companies, okay, you have like a bad industry, you adapt, but they're pretty upfront about it. And the executives are not ashamed about it, and so they actually have a better chance of being successful. The way that this company just hid a 35-36% drop in business by trying to hide it under, BS crypto news should enrage every single shareholder here. But again, we're in a time full of speculative bullshit. The stock is still up 36%, right where I shorted it. So, my own short selling bias might not, be accurate here. But I still like exposing this stuff. And that was my thinking, when I quickly read this. And again, I'm half awake, didn't even open the Profitly chat room, didn't have time to alert anything. No one even knew that I took a position. It was such a small position anyways, but as you can see here, it's facing a little resistance. And I can just imagine some short sellers out there where they're just licking their chops, being like, oh my God, this company just announced a nearly 40% drop in business, and yet the stock is up 40%. What a stupid, stupid market we're in because of crypto. So we'll see what this does today, but I would definitely 1,000% not be long biased on this. It might spike more, they might catch early short sellers off guard with their BS, but I do want you to know that it's BS. And sooner or later, there will come a reckoning for this and all Bitcoin and crypto stocks. You cannot just spike on hype and BS forever. So enjoy it while you can, hypesters. Enjoy it while you can, IZA management. I'm going to expose your kind of unethical press release bullshit. And to everybody else, if I've made my point, leave a comment underneath this saying, thanks, Tim. I understand this is BS. And let's see how many of you guys actually understand it, because a lot of you guys just judge stocks based on how well they do, how much they go up. Like even if they go up 500%, well, if it goes up 500%, it's not BS. But what I want you to learn to do, even if you are going long this, and I don't mind people going long, like if you caught it on the dip, there was $1 to be made on the downside and $1 to be made on the dip buy too. So don't feel bad if you go long, but whether you go long or short this kind of stock, I want you to understand the BS. I don't want you to be uninformed. I don't want you to be like naive, like way too many crypto investors and traders are, where I want you to say, okay, I'll trade the volatility, long or short. And in this case, for me, it was short just because of the reasons that I listed. But at the same time, no matter how you're trading it, be aware of the BS. Be aware of that kind of sneakiness when a company loses nearly 40% of its business. And of course, they're going to make excuses. I can just imagine some of the messages I'm going to get from IZA supporters. They're like, but they said that the bookings are coming later this quarter. That's very easy, because I can guarantee you that IZA, employees are now calling those companies being like, please, 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 we'll give you 20, 30, 40, 50% off the cost of our business, and just rebook. So now they have until the end of the quarter, which is March. So they have a few extra, weeks to try to get that business back. But they had to pre-announce that they lost nearly 40% of their business. That is an SEC requirement. When the quarter ends and frankly you don't have the money that you thought that you did or that you announced that you would, you have to announce it. And today is January 16, 2018 as I'm saying this, so this is roughly 2 weeks after the quarter ended. I guarantee you IZA was not looking forward to issuing this press release, but they are legally bound to talk about how they're doing, whether it's good or bad. In this case, they are doing very, very, very bad. And so they had to try very, very, very hard to mask that. And there's two different stories here. One, the chart is uptrending, and this is a potential breakout. So technical traders will say, Tim, you're trying to fight crypto. You're trying to fight a breakout. You're trying to fight strong volume. You're on the wrong side here. And then the shorts will say, it might be a rising market, it might be an uptrend, it might be spiking, but the business itself, the underlying business itself is collapsing. And the way that they tried to hide it in that press release, makes me think that this stock should drop more. So there's a case that can be made for both sides. That's the market. This is not a clear-cut case. Like, this is definitely a scam, or this is definitely going to drop. I don't know what it's going to do at the market open in about an hour. What I do know is that it was up way, way, way too much on way, way, way too little volume, so I shorted it. It actually has a nice double top right now here at 840, so if you shorted it anywhere in the 8s, that's cool. Just be sure to lock in profits. I'll make $275 half a week, every day if the opportunity arises. I didn't have to trade. I wasn't looking to trade, but I saw an opportunity, and frankly, it's nice to be on the short side again when I see so much BS. You have to be extra careful shorting in 2018. But, some short sellers are doing well, and when you see total, absolute bullshit like this, even if you don't short it, just at least be aware of it. I think that's important, so that if and when this sector and this boom does collapse, you're not surprised, because you see these kinds of BS tactics that these companies use. And that's it. That's today's lesson. Again, if I made my point, leave a comment underneath this video saying, thanks, Tim. I now see the BS. And that's my goal, just to educate you so that you're not naive, so that you're not, conned by these companies and their kind of nastiness. I made $275. I'll post a trade in a little bit. It doesn't matter. It's just a good lesson. Thank you. I'll see you guys in the chat room. Let me get some coffee.
Motherfucker talking about getting some coffee. Shit, you don't need no coffee. You can take your ass back to sleep. Ain't shit going on, man. I'm done with this motherfucker here.
Like, that's not what anyone is concerned with. They'd like to see nothing.
They want
Maybe not, but it makes the case harder at 60. They want user growth and they want revenue growth, accelerated revenue growth, not decelerating revenue growth.
And they better get double-digit daily average user growth, Judge. Otherwise, that ad metric that he's calling for in this upgrade ain't gonna be there. Somewhere else.
Man, I was watching some shit on YouTube. It was in, where the fuck this dude at, man? I'll tell you in it right here. Yeah, if you female, you definitely gotta watch out. You know, I was watching some shit on, I was watching Tony Robbins the other night. He was saying, he had asked women, if you were, you know, like, in a, hold up. Sandy damn shit, play political. He has women in his audience. He had over, I don't know, say 1,000 women, 2,000 women. He's like asking the women, he's like, you know, in the last month, you know, have you been in like a parking garage or something like that, right? You in a parking garage, and were you in fear of your life? You know, just damn. North Texas hit by Arctic blast and snow. Damn, look at Texas. Texas is fucked up. Holy shit, Texas got some serious. They got some fucked up shit over there. This is 1 in 6 adult. Oh, smart. So anyways, yeah, Texas roads are all fucked up. So 90% of the women in the fucking in the audience raised their hand, said they were in fear of their life, right? Just from walking in their car, you know, in a fucking garage or some shit. Right? So, but yeah, anyways, this cop, man, let me get this fucking thing real quick. I was like, damn, man. That's why I don't like watch. Did I watch the news this morning? Crazy ass white folks, man. White folks crazy as fuck. I'll tell you what this white bitch did today. Oklahoma, an Oklahoma cop was pulling girls over and raping them and shit, like sexually raping them and shit. The cop was only like 27 years old, and he was white. He was mixed. He was like Asian and white. That motherfucker ain't white, man. Anyways, they gave that bitch 250 years, man. 263 years. That judge sentenced his ass. I think he raped like 13 women. Fucking cop. So yeah, I got sisters too. So like if you driving your woman and a police officer trying to pull you over, don't pull over on the side of the road where nobody can't see you. Pull over into a gas station. I don't give a fuck if you 10 miles away, 2 miles away, or you 10 miles away from the next exit. Man, don't pull off the side of the interstate. You better take your ass to the fucking gas station. Don't be scared. Take your ass to the gas station. And he pulls you over and say, why you ain't stopped? Say, I was in fear. I don't know who the fuck you are. But anyways, then this morning I was watching the news, right? This white bitch, she had like 7 children. 7 or 8 children. I don't even know. She had a whole gang of them motherfuckers. She had the motherfuckers shackled. She had the motherfucker shackled to the bed, man. And they ain't even seen no daylight. They pale and shit. One of her daughters broke away and escaped. She was like 17 years old and went to go call the police. White folks, man, they crazy as fuck, man. White folk crazy motherfucker, man. Chaining up their kids and shit. Keep them in the motherfucking room for months at a time. The white motherfucker's crazy, boy. Who does that? White people, man. Chain their kids up to the fucking bed. Who do that kind of shit? White folk crazy as motherfucker, man. They called it the House of Horror on the news this morning. The House of Horror. It's some shit out of the movies. Fucking crazy, man.
some unusual activity for us today. Doc, Teradyne.
Teradyne, Judge, that's right. A little over $45 a share this morning. They
Yes, sir.
Do you think the president understands leverage?
Yes, sir.
So here's what I would suggest to you. In phase one, to expect my friends on the other side to go comprehensive for us and DACA for them, it's not going to happen. I'm telling my friends on the other side. DACA and nothing else is not going to happen. The sweet spot is DACA happen.
What we get, but
Not going to happen. The kids, us, more than. Can I describe fate?
today,
In this country, it's hard. Was just toiling alone, pulling the.
For the 11 million not included in phase one who are not crooks, drug dealers, rapists, felons, which is the overwhelming majority of the 11 million. That once we get a glide path for them, I expect in return that when they're through the system, we'll have a merit-based immigration system based on the economic needs of the country, that will have a secure border, and will increase legal immigration so people in the future don't have to cheat. Does that sound pretty reasonable?
It sounds like a phase two.
Okay. So, I'm going to try to get you through phase one. If the president's watching, I'm still in the phone book. Don't give my number out, but call me. This has turned into a S show, and we need to get back to being a great country where Democrats and Republicans have worked together to do something that we should have done years ago. To the 700,000 young people, some young, some older, we're not going to leave you behind. I don't know how this movie ends, but you're going to be taken care of. To those who want to begin to fix a broken immigration system, you're going to get something too. I don't know how we right the ship. Dr. King said something pretty poignant about us. He said, we came on different ships, we're all in the same boat now. So here's my hope, that we can find through phase one a reasonable down payment on border security, begin to correct some of the problems when it comes to chain migration, deal with the DACA population fairly and with a sense of compassion, and set up phase two. And all I would say, Madam Secretary, we need your help.
Sir, I've been ready. I've offered to meet with anybody who would like to meet with me to further this discussion. I would like to do it. We need to do it.
I'm going to take you up on that offer, and to the country at large. Things are going to get better. It's not going to end this way. The president ran hot. I think I know why. Something happened between Tuesday and Thursday, and we'll get to the bottom of that. And quite frankly, I got pretty passionate, and I ran a little hot too. Somebody needs to fix this problem. Obama couldn't do it, Bush couldn't do it, and both of them, to their great credit, tried. Do you think President Trump can do this?
I think he wants to do it. Yes, sir.
And I think Dick Durbin has been one of the best people you could ever hope to work with. That he's a decent, honest man, a liberal Democrat. Yeah, he said yeah. And I'm a conservative Republican, but on this and other things, we can find a way forward. So, Mr. President, I'm going to end today where I ended Tuesday. Close this deal. Thank you, Madam Secretary.
Thank you, sir, for your leadership on this.
Were I call on Secretary Harris, I would hope. Senator,
I don't know if that's a demotion or a promotion.
I'm sorry. Before I do that, you don't have to answer this, Senator Graham, but it seems to me that in phase one, we ought to at least be able to agree that we should make it easier to remove dangerous criminals in phase one instead of waiting for that. You know, that's just kind of a simple.
Yeah,
that's a common sense test. You ask that to any American,
yeah, I think
and they would say yes.
I think that's a good idea among other good ideas, and I'm glad we're talking about phase one rather than S-holes.
Senator Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's so much that has taken place over the last week and during the course of this hearing.
Clearly some contentious exchanges happening there at the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing involving the Homeland Security Secretary, Kirstjen Nielsen. She's not been on the job long, but she's answering a tough line of questioning there, as you just saw. Senator Lindsey Graham asking her what happened last Thursday morning with the use of the president's language in that meeting on immigration reform. She's adamantly said she does not remember. Earlier in this testimony, she said it's possible he said what Dick Durbin says he said, but that was in response to if it's possible. Like I said, anything's possible. But she said she does not remember. She does remember Senator Lindsey Graham, she said, using strong language. Senator Lindsey Graham then went into an interesting line of questionings, basically asking Kirstjen Nielsen, where was the Tuesday Donald Trump? The Thursday Donald Trump? She says, I don't know where that
politics,
went, he said, but I want him back. Talking about Tuesday, the president in that bipartisan, bicameral meeting, David Asman is on the couch right now, saying he was talking about a bill of love. And what happened, he was asking, between Tuesday and Thursday? What is Senator Lindsey Graham trying to say here?
Well, that's a good question. I don't exactly know. I think part of it is Lindsey Graham's kind of trying to find a way of dancing around the fact that he used the same kind of, not exactly the same kind of salty language. He used hellhole, as we were talking about before, to describe those countries south of the border, from which we should try to limit a bit the number of immigrants coming here. So he essentially, Lindsey Graham, the guy who was just chastising essentially President Trump for changing his rhetoric, just kind of used a little dance step in order to move away from basically saying the same thing.
I'm going to jump back in here because obviously this is ongoing, and we're going to get back in a little. He's stepped out to a microphone. There's Senator Lindsey Graham. Let's listen.
10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. I will say, I don't think the president was well served by the staff. I think the president's that we saw Tuesday is that Donald Trump exists, and somehow by 12 o'clock on Thursday, something happened, and I don't think he was well served by his staff, but he's responsible for the way he conducts himself, and so am I. Can't blame that on the staff, but I do believe his staff was
Would that be General Kelly?
pretty much missed the mark here. I think General Kelly's a fine man, but he's also part of the staff. So now where do we go? I think there's a chance to reconstruct this, to find a way to get phase one done. You know, Senator Grassley asked me about deporting people who are criminals. Fine. I think we're doing that as we speak. That's something to consider. Now, the young man who got deported yesterday, 39 years old, apparently wouldn't tell it, is something we need to look at. So, to the 700,000 plus DACA kids, we're not going to leave you behind. We're not going to let this end like it is. And to those who've been desirous of a more secure border, you're going to get your something too, because it has to be done together. I don't think you can do DACA without border security. I don't think you should. I think we should be making a down payment on merit-based immigration.
And when you say that happened between Tuesday and Thursday, do you mean that the president got bad advice from someone on his staff?
Yeah, I think somebody on the staff gave him really bad advice between 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock on Thursday. I think the president I saw on Tuesday is the guy I played golf with. They actually liked the guy. He's actually funny. I thought he commanded the room. And the conversation at 10 o'clock on Thursday was pretty consistent with the guy I saw Tuesday. Something happened between 10 and 12. And I like Secretary Nielsen. She's a nice person. And we'll get to the bottom of this, but here's what's going to matter. How does it end? How does it end? Does it end with the government shutting down? We should all be kicked out if that happens. Does it end with the 700,000 kids being thrown to the wolves? No. Does it end without any effort to secure the border? No. So it's not going to end poorly. It's going to end well. And let me tell you why it will. The public is demanding for us to get our act together up here. 80% of the people would like to see these kids have a better life. 80% of the people would like to begin to fix a broken immigration system. They're going to demand we do better. And what we need to do better is a reliable partner at the White House. Somebody like the president who showed up on Tuesday. We cannot do this
with people in charge at the White House who have an irrational view of how to fix immigration. Thanks.
Are you a Miller? Sir, Stephen Miller? What a day. There's Senator Lindsey Graham just stepping out of that Senate Judiciary hearing where Christian Nielsen, the Homeland Security Secretary, was just being questioned.
Certified.
That's money.
That's 18 years. 1-800
when he allegedly used that certain language, he says he believes he was not well served, the president, by staff.
Okay, he events here, and I think, you know, Senator Graham knows.
Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual.
We're there waiting for them. And Congressman Bob Goodlatte was also considered one of the immigration hawk.
It should not be taken more than twice a day. Symbicort contains formoterol. Medicines like formoterol increase the risk of death from asthma problems. Symbicort may increase your risk of lung infections, osteoporosis, and some eye problems. You should tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it.
Symbicort could mean a day with better breathing. Watch out, Piggy.
Get Symbicort free for up to 1 year. Visit SaveOnSymbicort.com today to learn more. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Welcome back to the Halftime Report. I'm Jackie Mantless. Let's take a look at Bitcoin futures tumbling today. Scott Nations, is this all about fears of crypto trading regulations abroad?
I think it is down 18%. You know, we've talked before, Bitcoin has no inherent value, so you have to rely on the fact that it's supposed to be extra national. That is, it's beyond the reach of any individual nation. And we now see that is not the case. And if that's not the case, I don't see any value at all in it.
All right, Jim Uriel, Bitcoin futures now trading well below 12,000 on both exchanges. So what are the levels to watch from this point on?
I think it's entered into a new channel here. As long as it stays below 12,200, I think it looks weak to me with a target of about 11,000 on the downside. And the thing that Scott mentions too about government regulation, the thing that surprises me most is not that China and South Korea have come out against it, is the fact that the United States has said nothing, has been relatively accommodative up to this point. I can't see a government that allows decentralization of their currency going much further.
All right, thanks guys. Meantime, today on the live show, we're keeping the Bitcoin conversation going with Chris Harvey of Wells Fargo. He's going to tell us why the cryptocurrency carnage could hit stocks. It's all at the top of the hour features now. CNBC.com. The Halftime Report is back in 2 minutes.
Futures Now is sponsored by Thinkorswim, by TD Ameritrade and CME Group.
This is my headquarters. This is where I trade and manage my portfolio. Since I added futures, I have access to the oil markets and gold markets. Okay, I'm plugged into equities, trade confirmed, and I have global access 24/7, meaning I can do what I need to do. Then I can focus on what I want to do. Visit learnfuturestoday.com to see what adding futures can do for you.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish.
writing machines, she doesn't mess around.
Robin, give me 3,000.
But when it comes to getting a mortgage, Greta's less confident.
I got nothing.
Fortunately for Greta, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so she can understand the details and know she's getting the right mortgage. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Go to rocketmortgage.com today.
Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 33.
Hey guys, this is Steve Angelo. Listen to Paradiso, the final act from my forthcoming album, Human, here on Spotify. Enjoy.
Have you ever worked at a place where they didn't want you talking about your salary? Actually, have you ever worked anywhere where they did? Unlikely. But don't you have a right to know? If only there were a simple solution. Well, now there is.
How we find jobs has changed. On Indeed.com, our company reviews give you the inside track on thousands of companies. You can research salaries, benefits, company cultures, and more. All on Indeed.com. Search for greatness. Search Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Indeed is the world's #1 job site according to ComScore total visits.
The Dow lost the highs today, but still tracking 26,000 for the first time ever earlier today, and that is less than 2 weeks after crossing 25,000. Roberto Pisani down at the New York Stock Exchange with more on what's driving it. Hey, Bob.
7 days, it's down 25,000. We're running out of hats. I called Peter and said we got to order more hats because we need them down here. Take a look. The Dow's price weighted. Remember this. So big stocks, big price stocks move the market more. If you take a look, Boeing, of the 1,000 points we moved from 25 to 26, Boeing is 34% of that. Caterpillar is almost 9%. United Health is 67 points, that's about 7%. Home Depot, you get the idea. These 5 stocks are 60% of the gains of the Dow 30. Bear that in mind, and they're the highest price stocks as well. Notice the days to rally are getting shorter. You're not hallucinating, folks, and it's not just because the numbers are getting easier. It was 53 days, then 22 to 23, 23, and now just 7 days to get from 25 to 26,000. This is a big, big rally, and a lot of it is based on 2 ideas. Number one, it's a global
This
rally.
motherfucker need a
So
crash.
across the board, this is so
This
far
motherfucker need a crash.
all around the world, stock markets are up, not just in the United States, but in the U.S. in particular. The earnings numbers are terrific, and tax reform has helped. Since December 20th, that's when they passed the tax bill, they have raised the numbers on the S&P for 2018, not the fourth quarter, 2018, now up more than 2%. That's
We need to
lot
have
move in
a recession,
3
a
weeks.
depression.
That don't normally move that quickly.
This motherfucker need a
I
crash.
suspect that's going to go up even more. You can call it fear of missing out if you want.
We didn't have it
It's not very
in
elegant,
2000,
but
what is
we've
it,
seen
2000,
big inflows into
2007.
market funds in Europe in the
We didn't have a
last
2007
and even
crash.
into the U.S. last
That's what we
week.
need.
People putting a lot of money to work right now. Finally, let's just take a look at the Dow. You'll notice we're well off of the highs, and a lot of people have asked me what exactly is going on with that. We're off of the highs for the Dow. There have been some reports earlier in the morning about, and Art and I were talking about, there's a Turkish military buildup on the Syrian border that might have a little bit something to do with it. I know a lot of the bids were canceled a little bit, so it was a little less interest in buying somewhere around 10:15, 10:30 today, and I think that's a little bit responsible for that. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Bob Pisani. Well, stocks tearing through new record highs practically on a daily basis. Where can you find value in this market? Don Shoes at the big wall looking for some bargains. Hey, Don.
All right, so as we talk about the 1,000-point move between 25 and 26K, it's a 4% move, so mathematically it is getting easier to get there, so that may represent part of that big move. But as we talk about these record high levels, there are places in the market, as you can see that big run up there, between 20,000 all the way to 26,000, just around a year. You take a look at some of the underperformers that we've seen in the Dow over the past 12 months. You take a look at some of those names: General Electric, Verizon. 3 Dow members that are actually negative on a 12-month basis. So are there people picking up value? These shareholders are looking pretty good so far, year-to-date in 2018 up until today. Pretty good gains are still there, but we'll see if those reversals happen for Verizon and IBM as well. Take a look at this, though, because we talk about the Dow, the highest yielding numbers. Maybe that represents the value play. Other people are looking at price-to-earnings ratios in terms of how much on a trailing 12-month basis a company makes in profit.
Oh, man.
Verizon trades at 13 times earnings. This is historical earnings, not forward-looking. Goldman Sachs, 13 times earnings as well. IBM at 14 times. Intel and underperforming.
I don't know. Hopefully I'm going to call them right now about that water.
These represent the lowest price-to-earnings ratios there. So as we talk about possible reversals of value hunting plans, some of these stocks may be on investor radar. Back over to Grace.
What the hell, water? use this phone real quick. Call this motherfucker.